I need this woman standing next to me. I need her. I would be an absolute, complete slob without this woman. Hey, thanks, Dad. You agree with that, don't you? Now, for example, I know how to get dressed when I go hunting. When the leaves are on and it's shadows in the woods, I wear my mossy oak. It's a darker color. This is camo now. When the leaves are off and it's lighter in the woods, I wear my real tree. It's a lighter color. If I look halfway decent today, though, out in public like this, if I look anywhere near decent, I had nothing to do with it. The comedian, I love what he said. I relate to it so much. He thought he was ready for church, and he walked by the bathroom, and his wife got a glance and said, "Hey, you wearing that to church?" "No, dear, I'm wearing this while I get ready." That's me. Men need a woman, and I admit that readily. It's kind of like your dad.
My dad, oh my, he sure needed my mom. They were, as I said, they were dairy farmers. And anybody here ever worked on a farm, been around farm work? I think God loves farmers special because they need him so much. I spent my entire childhood praying for it to rain or stop raining. It wasn't 2 days in a row when it was right. But if you've ever been around farm work, you know that you go to the fields and you work, you come in, you're just filthy, head to toe. And Dad would come in from the fields. If Mom and Dad were going to go to some function or go to church, Dad would get his bath, and Mom would lay his clothes out on the bed with his shoes, socks, belt, everything he needed. He'd just get his bath, and he'd go put those clothes on. Now, it worked out fine because Mom was always pleased with how Dad was dressed, and Dad didn't have to think a lot. So they were both happy. Now, this worked out fine until the day my mom went into labor with my sister. I'm the fourth. The first four were born at home. Mom decided she's going to go to the hospital to have my sister. And so she got all involved when she went into labor, got all self-absorbed. You know how women are. And she just got so involved with being in labor that she thoughtlessly forgot to lay Dad's clothes out for him to wear to the hospital. Well, he showed up at the hospital all right, and he was wearing one of her white blouses. That made Mom awful mad because she said there wasn't any sense in anybody being that helpless. But the truth was she had created her own problems. She had done to Dad what I've done to Steve. I've ruined him. No, nobody'd want him now after I've gotten finished with him. He's just spoiled to death. But the truth is, and he's happy. He's a happy man. The truth is we need each other. We do. In Genesis, when we see man, it was created. He's living in the garden. He was in a sinless state, in a perfect relationship with God, living in paradise. And God looked at him and said, "Something's not right." Well, that's a paraphrase. He said, it's not good for man to be alone. Man had a problem, and at the time it wasn't a sin problem. It was an aloneness problem. God has created us to need one another. We have that individual responsibility, and then we have a responsibility to each other as we live in community with one another.
And embodied in Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12, are some of the ways that men and women need each other. Now, this passage, if you're not familiar with it, you are, and you may not know it. It's the third chord strand passage. This passage often used in the context of marriage, which it's appropriate. But did you know it was originally written about friendships? In verse 8, it talks about a man laboring, and who's he doing it for? And he needs a companion. And so then 9 through 12 lists the ways that we need a companion. And we're going to sing those to you now. And in the chorus, we're going to ask the men. How many of you guys would admit you need your wife? Yes. The rest of you are not telling the truth. So if you raise your hand, I want you to sing. And ladies, I want you to sing to him too. But I especially want the guys to admit this. Now, when we sing, and when you sing these words, don't look straight ahead and sing up here. That makes me feel uncomfortable when you sing "I Need You" to me, guys. I just don't appreciate that. I want you to turn to her and sing "I Need You." And it's a very simple melody, preceded with a melodic "oh, oh, oh." You'll hear it when it comes along. But I'll cue you when to sing, and again, sing to one another. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 to 12.
If there is work to be done, two are better than one.
And if there's a thief in the midst, one would be in peril, but two can resist. And there's so many reasons why it will always be true that a man and a woman can say to each other, I need you. Oh, I need you. Very good, guys. Very good.
Two hold hands when they walk. There's help if one of them falls.
And it's cold if you sleep alone, but two can lie down and they will be warm. And there's so many reasons why it will always be true that a man and a woman can say to each other, I need you. Oh, I need you. But of all they can do for each other, the very best thing would be let God hold them together. There's greater strength in a chord of three. And there's so many reasons why it will always be true that a man and a woman can say to each other, I need you. Oh, I need you. Last chance till next Valentine's Day, guys. Oh, I need you. All right, guys, give her another kiss on the jaw and say, I need you, baby.